What's going on, guys? No daily on this one, but look at the Jakob Chychrun trade with Arizona sending to the Ottawa Senators for a first and 2 seconds. Now, if somehow the Senators can make the Eastern Conference Final, which I don't really see happening, like if you look at their standings, they're just gonna have a tough enough time making the playoffs. One of the second round picks actually becomes a first in 2024. Again, the chances of that happening are pretty much slim to none. Also, too, if they have a top 5 pick this year, then the first round pick becomes a 2024 first. So, looking at the odds, chances are the trade's going to look exactly how it looks there. Like, the two kind of scenarios there are both pretty unlikely. So, obviously, we're getting Jakob Chychrun back from the Arizona Coyotes. Now, guys, this is using my roster. I will say, EA actually has Chychrun at the same range as me and potential. I'm just giving him some X factors. So, 24 years old there, 86 overall. Again, you can see mediumly potential, the good X factors. 16th overall pick back in 2016. This is actually the Red Wings pick. Should have been a Red Wing, but we traded that pick, I think, to like dump Datsyuk's contract. So that still hurts me. Now, last year he didn't really have a great season. 21 points, 47 games. This year, though, he's looking really good. The year before that as well, he looked pretty good. Almost a point per game for a defenseman. And obviously, too, playing on a not too great Arizona team. So I really like this trade for Ottawa. Obviously, Chychrun, we knew, was on the trade block for a while with the Coyotes. I'm not exactly sure why. Like, he's 24 years old. He's kind of like the perfect age to grow into like their #1 defenseman of the future once they're a good team. But I think he was just kind of done being on that team and losing. So kind of similar to the DeBrincat trade. Obviously, Ottawa's giving up a pretty high first-round pick here. Chances are it'll be at least top 15, maybe top 10, but you get back a player that's still quite young, and he's kind of just perfect age for this core. Like, Stützle's 20, DeBrincat 24, Chabot 25, Sanderson there, Tkachuk, Batherson, Norris. Like, he's literally the perfect age to fit into this core. And obviously, hopefully for Ottawa's sake, this core can actually become a true Stanley Cup contender in the not too distant future. So, again, guys, they're giving over the 2023 first, along with the 2024 second, which could become a first-round pick if they make the Eastern Conference Final, but it's not happening. As well, too, they get a 2026 second-round pick. It's crazy how like late these picks are that they're trading over. Like, these GMs are straight up making franchise mode trades. It's so funny to me. So as you can see here, the value is quite heavily on our side. Coyotes want the first and the second. Chychrun's not in the block, but the value is about double on our side. So medium difficulty. Let's see what the Coyotes say. Trades accepted, alright. And starts that trade, guys. See what the Senators lineup looks like when healthy. That top 6 is nasty. Tkachuk, Stützle, Giroux, Batherson, Norris, DeBrincat. Like, that top 6 could definitely win them a cup. Bottom 6 there isn't too bad either. Matthew Joseph, Pinto, Gauthier, Watson, Gamble, Brassard. I'm just looking at this team thinking how competitive the Atlantic's going to be for like the next few seasons. Even the teams that are obviously getting older, Boston and Tampa, are still really good. These younger teams like Ottawa, like Buffalo, hopefully Detroit, are starting to really get competitive as well. The D-core now looks a lot better with Chychrun in the mix. So you got Chabot, Zub, Chychrun, Sanderson as your top 4. Branstrom, Hamonic on the bottom pair also isn't too bad. I think as well Nick Holden could be on the team instead of Hamonic. Goaltending-wise, you got Forsberg, you got Talbot. Forsberg's a pretty underrated goalie. Like, he's actually pretty solid. So, again, like this Ottawa team, I don't see them making the playoffs this year. There's just too many teams in front of them. But I feel like next year they have a very good shot. And obviously, like the next few years, I could see them competing for a Stanley Cup. Now, next year, guys, I'll give you your first look at Jakob Chychrun as a member of the Ottawa Senators. Obviously, played his whole career for the Coyotes so far. And he's actually got a really good game face. Like, that looks just like him. So, here you go. Chychrun, number 6 on the Senators. Again, they bring him in and DeBrincat for a couple first-round picks. 2 elite players entering their prime. I really like this move from Pierre Dorian. Next year, guys, we'll try the trade from Coyotes' perspective. So no surprise here, guys. The Senators are interested in Jakob Chychrun. I forgot to mention, too, that's not his actual contract. He's actually making $4.6 million for the next 3 years, but the Coyotes must have been below the salary cap minimum, so EA kind of boosted a bunch of their contracts slightly. I think that's a great contract for Chychrun, which makes the trade even better for the Senators. But again, most likely they are giving up like a top 15 first-round pick this year, plus a couple seconds. So, like, they're definitely, giving up a ton of value, which is why in-game here, the value is actually on the Senators side. Only interested in giving up the 1 second-round pick because they know that first, could be a lottery pick. So, even though they like Chychrun, I don't see this trade going through. Yeah, trade's rejected. Let's just see what it would cost. What about just a first and a second for Chychrun? Trade still rejected. 1 for 1 for their first. Wow, they still say no to that. I assume they have to say yes to the 2 seconds, though. And yeah, they do. Also, too, guys, the Coyotes made another trade today, getting Jakub Voracek for the Columbus Blue Jackets with a 6th-round pick, basically to take on his contract. Now, I'm not so sure about, like, Voracek's injury. For sure, he's out the rest of the year. He could maybe play next year, but he also, like, could be done playing hockey. So, this is a weird one. Like, if he's done playing hockey, they essentially just, pay his salary to get a 6th-round pick. If he does play, though, and he has a decent season next year, they could easily flip Voracek for a lot more. So this is one where, like, it's really hard to tell because it all has to do with injury issues. But obviously, as you can see in game, Voracek's got a lot more value when healthy than John Gillies. Like, Also, too, guys, the Coyotes traded Shane Gostisbehere to the Carolina Hurricanes for a 3rd-round pick in 2026. As I mentioned, these GMs are just trading picks way in the future when they might not even be still with the team, which I think is pretty funny. In-game, Gostisbehere's got way more value than a 3rd. Honestly, too, like, I thought he'd been playing well enough the last couple seasons to get more than a 3rd. If I had to guess, I would have said at least a 2nd-round pick, maybe a 2nd plus, like, an okay prospect. So I think the Hurricanes made out really well here. Still, the Coyotes added another pick. As you guys can see on Cap Friendly there, like, they have so many draft picks. And of course, that doesn't even show the picks they've just added in 2026. But definitely tons of assets to work with in terms of rebuild. Also, guys, I almost forgot, but they just traded Nick Bjugstad and Cam Dineen to the Oilers for Kesselin in a 3rd. So I like this trade for Edmonton. Bjugstad, of course, gives them some extra depth in their bottom 6. All they have to get up is a 3rd, plus Cam Dineen. Still 24, could maybe end up being like a bottom pairing D-man. Kesselin as well, could maybe end up being, you know, a bottom pairing D-man. I'll have to see on both those guys. But in-game here, trade value is pretty close. It is on the other side, though. So yeah, they reject. So after those trades for the Coyotes, guys, here's what the lines might be looking like. It went healthy. Obviously, 2 for this. I have Voracek being healthy for next season. That might not be the case. But if it is, like, that's actually not a bad first line. Kroos, Hayden, Michelli on the 2nd. Michelli's actually, like, shown he's a pretty good playmaker this year. You got Richie, McBain, Fisher, Cassian, Boyd, O'Brien. Like, the forward's not terrible, but it's not great. Defensively, it is looking pretty weak after losing both Chychrun and Gostisbehere. Like, that's got to be one of the worst defenses in the league. Goaltending, Vejmelka's actually not bad, but it really doesn't matter how well he plays. Like, the team in front of him just isn't good enough. So, you're interested to see kind of who wins, you know, the tank battle here between Arizona, Chicago, Anaheim. Personally, I feel like Chicago's team on paper now, after trading away Kane and Domi, has to be the worst. Like, they have no forwards. Obviously, Tay's out for the rest of the year. It's looking pretty rough there. But in regards to the Chychrun trade, guys, obviously, as I mentioned, I truly think Senators won this one. They gave up draft picks, and they got a very good young defenseman back in Chychrun. Kind of surprising to see in-game. EA feels like Arizona actually won the trade. That just kind of shows you. I feel like the draft picks might be a little bit overvalued. But let me know in the comment section if you guys think won. As always, guys, if you enjoyed this video, leave that thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe for more. Have a nice day, guys. Goodbye.